In the heart of New York City, the Grand Meridian Hotel stood as a symbol of luxury and exclusivity. Its marble halls echoed with the laughter of the elite, but on this particular day, a storm was brewing in its lobby. Security, we have a vagrant situation in the lobby. Remove this woman immediately before she disturbs our real guests. The hotel manager, Brittany Coleman, barked, her voice slicing through the air like a knife. She stood with arms crossed, blocking Zara Washington from the elevator bank, her finger pointing dismissively as if Zara were a mere nuisance. Zara, dressed impeccably in a charcoal suit, held her black leather portfolio tightly against her chest. She was a striking figure, her dark eyes locked onto Coleman's with an unsettling calmness that seemed to unsettle the crowd of wealthy guests forming a semicircle around them. Phones were already recording, eager to capture what they anticipated would be another viral moment of social media outrage. Coleman turned to the gathering crowd, her voice dripping with theatrical disdain. These people think expensive clothes give them access to our world. Security will escort her to the service entrance where she belongs. The lobby buzzed with murmurs of approval, the audience reveling in the spectacle. Have you ever been judged by your appearance before anyone bothered to learn who you really are? Zara's voice was low, but it carried a weight that silenced the crowd momentarily. Coleman's manicured finger jabbed toward the service entrance. The help uses the back door. Surely someone taught you that basic courtesy. Two security guards, tall and imposing, emerged from behind the marble pillars, hands resting on their tasers. The taller one, Rodriguez, spoke into his radio, code yellow in the main lobby, potential trespassing situation. Zara glanced at her Cartier watch, the platinum face glinting under the chandelier lights. 10 minutes until my appointment upstairs, she replied, her voice steady. What appointment? Coleman laughed, a sharp, mocking sound. Lady, the only appointment you have is with the sidewalk outside. A young Asian woman near the concierge desk held up her phone, live streaming the unfolding drama. This is insane. This hotel manager is literally throwing out a black businesswoman for no reason, she whispered to her audience. The viewer count climbed rapidly. Coleman noticed the cameras and played to them. Ladies and gentlemen, witness what happens when certain people think designer knockoffs grant them access to luxury establishments. The crowd murmured in approval, a silver-haired man in a tennis outfit, nodding in agreement. Zara's portfolio shifted slightly, revealing a flash of platinum plastic, a key card with a magnetic strip. She tucked it deeper into the leather folder before anyone else noticed. Her phone buzzed, lighting up with a message. Legal team ready for acquisition announcement. Boardroom prepared at Coleman's eyes narrowed, trying to read the message. Probably her parole officer checking in, she sneered. More phones appeared, the lobby transforming into a makeshift filming studio with Zara as the unwilling star. Ma'am, you need to leave voluntarily or we'll escort you out, Rodriguez said, stepping closer. I understand the confusion, Zara said softly, but I suggest you verify my appointment before taking irreversible action. Coleman's face flushed. Irreversible, honey? The only thing irreversible here is the damage to this hotel's reputation if we let random people waltz through our doors. The live stream viewers multiplied and the tension in the air thickened. This is getting really uncomfortable, Carter narrated for her audience. The woman is asking them to verify something, but they won't listen. Zara opened her portfolio just enough to glimpse inside. Beyond the platinum key card, several documents were visible, one letterhead reading Washington Hospitality Group in elegant script. She closed the portfolio before Coleman could focus on the details. 8 minutes remaining, Zara said, checking her watch again. Until what? Rodriguez demanded. Until your imaginary meeting with the Tooth Fairy, Coleman shot back, her confidence peaking. The crowd pressed closer, phones held high. Carter's viewer count hit 8,000. Local news alerts pinged on phones across the city. Viral discrimination incident unfolding at Grand Meridian Hotel. One read, Morrison, the general manager, burst through the executive elevator doors, his silver hair perfectly styled despite the urgency. What's the situation here? He boomed. Coleman straightened, energized by his arrival. Derek. Thank God. This woman is refusing to leave after I explain she doesn't belong here. She's been disruptive for nearly 10 minutes. Morrison studied Zara with practice assessment. Ma'am, I'm Derek Morrison, General Manager. I understand you're confused about hotel policies, but private establishments maintain certain standards. Zara replied simply, Miss Washington, I've managed this property for 15 years. Every legitimate guest is cleared through our system. Every business meeting is pre-approved by my office. You're not in our database. A murmur of satisfaction rippled through the crowd. Morrison's authority seemed absolute, his logic unassailable. You have 0 minutes. This is private property and you're trespassing, he said. 2 minutes, Zara said quietly, her calm demeanor unnerving the crowd. The police sirens wailed in the distance, growing louder. Hear that? Coleman announced triumphantly. Police are coming. The charade ends now. Zara stepped away from Rodriguez, moving toward the marble reception desk with fluid grace. One final opportunity, she said, her voice carrying across the silent lobby. Are you certain you want to proceed with this course of action? Morrison laughed for the cameras, his confidence absolute, absolutely certain. Someone like you should learn there are consequences for thinking expensive clothes grant access to establishments with standards. The phrase, someone like you, echoed through the marble space like a gunshot. Zara nodded slowly, as if Morrison had just confirmed something she'd been waiting to hear. Time's up, she said quietly. Then she opened the portfolio. Zara's fingers moved with surgical precision, extracting a single document. The paper was heavy, cream-colored, bearing multiple corporate seals and signatures. She placed it face down on the marble reception desk. Morrison stepped forward confidently, expecting to debunk whatever fabricated credentials this woman had prepared. Let me guess. Fake business cards, forged hotel reservations. We've seen every scam in the book. Zara flipped the document over. Morrison's eyes found the letterhead first. Washington Hospitality Group, Corporate Acquisition Division. His confident smile faltered as he read the bold text beneath. Controlling Interest Acquisition Grand Meridian Hotels International. The paper slipped from his suddenly trembling fingers. Coleman leaned over his shoulder, reading aloud before her brain could process the implications. Effective August 9th, 2025, Washington Hospitality Group has acquired 73% controlling interest in Grand Meridian Hotels. Her voice died mid-sentence. Rodriguez caught the document as it fluttered toward the floor. Sir, this looks real. It can't be, Morrison whispered, but his face had drained of all color. I am Zara Washington, Chief Executive Officer of Washington Hospitality Group, she declared. As of 9 a.m. this morning, my company owns controlling interest in this property. The words hit the lobby like a shockwave. Comments exploded on social media. Plot twist of the century. She owns the hotel. Morrison staggered backward, his 15 years of authority crumbling in seconds. That's impossible. I would have been notified. The board would have told me. Zara retrieved a second document from her portfolio, a board meeting agenda. The notification meeting was scheduled for 3 p.m. today in the penthouse boardroom, the same appointment I mentioned repeatedly. Coleman's face contorted as reality crashed down. You're lying. This is some elaborate hoax. But Morrison couldn't speak. He stared at the acquisition papers, recognizing the signatures of board members, the seal of Grand Meridian's parent company, the legal formatting that couldn't be faked. Ma'am, we didn't know, Rodriguez stammered, stepping back. Of course you didn't know, Zara replied calmly. That was rather the point of your colleague's behavior, wasn't it? Assumptions based on appearance rather than verification of facts. The lobby audience began stepping away from Morrison as if he'd become toxic. Coleman tried to salvage the situation. This is insane. Even if she owns part of the hotel, we were following security protocols. You had every opportunity to verify my appointment, Zara replied. Instead, you chose humiliation as your first response. The lobby erupted into chaos as the police arrived, cameras rolling, reporters shouting questions. Morrison's face streamed live to millions, becoming the definitive image of accountability in corporate America. Zara closed her portfolio and walked toward the elevator bank. The crowd parted before her like water. At the elevator doors, she turned back one final time. The board meeting will proceed as scheduled. New management policies will be implemented immediately. This property will become a model for inclusive hospitality, because today everyone learned what happens when assumptions meet reality. The elevator doors closed behind her, leaving chaos, careers in ruins, and nearly 100,000 witnesses to what will become legendary. Within hours, the Grand Meridian Hotel underwent the fastest corporate transformation in hospitality history. Czar's reforms weren't just policy changes. They were a systematic demolition of institutional discrimination. Morrison's termination became a public spectacle. His cardboard box of belongings a stark reminder of his fall from grace, as Czar's dignified response to institutional racism became a template for marginalized leaders facing barriers. The incident taught America that discrimination has costs, financial, reputational, and moral. But it also demonstrated that accountability creates opportunities for genuine progress. Today, the Grand Meridian hotels lead the industry in diversity metrics, guest satisfaction among travelers of color, and corporate social responsibility ratings. The transformation from viral-shamed industry leadership took precisely the time Czar predicted, just long enough for systems to replace symptoms. Zara Washington's story became legend, not because she destroyed her opponents, but because she chose to rebuild the entire foundation.